Wipe myself in the face. Hello! I don't like that one either. Hello, welcome to Agony Autie. I'm doing a Q&A. Your questions, I'm going to try and answer. I've received lots of questions from people who struggle with negative thinking. A lot of autistic people asking me how they cope with negative thoughts about themselves. I've had a lot of parents as well asking about their children and teenagers with autism, about their negative thinking and how they can help them. So like out of loads of questions that I got, I chose one question to read out. So one lady wrote in, she said that her daughter focuses on the negative so much that she feels that no one likes her. Do you have any suggestions? She is funny, energetic, and just totally awesome to be around, and she doesn't believe it when I say it. I've been finding that I'm really having to work on my mental health at the moment, and I'm working on improving my negative thinking as well, and I've received loads of advice from you guys about it, and I'm focusing on making mine visual. So this is my son's scrapbook that we've just started to make for him, and we've just filled it up with logos and all of the things that he loves. We've started to put in there. I've also included like photos of like days out, and we sit down and we go through it. So yeah, this is Frank's page, and you can see like he did everything. He told me where to put it and I glued it for him. So, you know, he got a great sense of pride and ownership from that. So showing as well as telling. Sometimes if you say, oh, that's not true, you're a good person, that doesn't sink in because I believe the complete opposite. Showing me that I'm a good person can help, you know? Sarah Bowden asked me a few questions. She asked me about how I started Agony Autie and what like inspires me to do my subject matter and things like that. Really quickly, I was going through a horrific patch at Christmas, and was very concerned that my mental health would become severe and that I would be severely depressed again. And it was because I was struggling with my physical symptoms of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is my connective tissue disorder that I have. I was struggling with losing my job. I used to be a wedding photographer, and that all went because of this condition. So huge changes everywhere. And I was on the floor in the kitchen one day, crying my eyes out, wailing, like wailing. I don't know what the neighbours thought. I'm so sorry, neighbours. Oh. I remember thinking to myself, I want to talk about this awful feeling, these awful feelings that I have. And I've always wanted to do something to kind of help autism awareness and acceptance. I just literally picked up my camera and started talking about meltdowns. I kept seeing loads of parents and loads of other autistics asking for advice and help about meltdowns, and I thought, well, I'll talk about my experience and see what they think. And it just went from there. That's it, and that was literally 6 months ago, so it's been amazing. Oh, my neck, oh my god, I don't know if you heard that. Okay, so I have Ehlers-Danlos. I've also been asked, what is Ehlers-Danlos? It's a hereditary connective tissue disorder. So I have very stretchy skin. I won't be doing any party tricks, as they call them. However, I will be doing a few Bateson score criteria. These are only really applicable if you're an adult, because a lot of children have this level of flexibility. I'm not going to do any more than that. Basically, if you can imagine how stretchy I am here, it's the same in my elbows, in my knees, in my shoulders, in my hips, everywhere. So I have frequent dislocations, subluxations, and tears and injuries to my skin and my tissue. You may have noticed I have a few horrible bruises on my arm. This is from a meltdown which I'm recovering from. It's also because I do bruise easily, like that song, I bruise easily. Okay, so I did quickly ask before I did this sesh. I did quickly ask online if any of you had any questions. Can I just apologise so much that this is bad? They are always bad. People have also asked me that. They've said to me, Sarah, why do you say it's bad when it's not? You're communicating yourself perfectly clear. It's because my heart is racing. I can be so much more articulate than this. So that's my own self-persecution there. Negative thinking. Oh my goodness. That was an example. That's in action negative thinking for you. Oh, that was good. Oh, that's a good one. Ooh, Elizabeth Power, that's a good one. She said, I'd like to know how long it took to work through all the emotions that came after an autism diagnosis. I'm 7 months after diagnosis and still very up and down about it all. Right, Elizabeth, you are just at the beginning of your autism realisation. I was diagnosed 3 years ago, and even though I kind of expected it, it took me forever to fully digest and accept, and I'm still now processing it. So it took a long time to fully realise, no, I am autistic. Autism is me. It's not just something that I carry around with me. It's not something that I can necessarily switch on and off. It might look like that because I mask and I just keep it together. I'm keeping it together, like in that moan of Bowfinger with Eddie Murphy. Oh my God, that's proving my age now.
Keep it together. Keep it together, keep it together, keep it together, keep it together, keep it together.
Loads of millennials will be going, what's Bowfinger? Just ignore that cultural reference. See, cultural reference anxiety. And take your time with it. Learn what autism means to you. I think sometimes that, for me, you gotta remember, I believed I was neurotypical all my life. I believed I was a failing neurotypical all my life. I remember thinking, why can't I do this? Why can't I keep this together? Why can't I keep a job down? Why do I keep losing jobs every 2 years? They keep letting me go because I keep having meltdowns. I keep being too hyper, too anxious, talking too much. So yeah, you feel like it makes sense, but at the same time, you then have to reimagine your whole life again. I was reading a post on Twitter about autism realization, and someone referenced it or said it was akin to the scene in The Matrix where Leo wakes up, and they said because all their life has been a lie. What I took from that was, you're right, I was never neurotypical, and me telling myself that I'd been failing all this time was a lie. Therefore, I'm autistic. And I have these difficulties because my current society, although they are making massive steps to be autism friendly, the UK has one autism friendly city, and that's Liverpool, you know? So no wonder autistic people are struggling in a world which isn't tailored for us. It's tailored for neurotypicals, the norm. So, but we'll get there. I feel like we'll get there. I hope. God, I go on. But thank you so much for that question. That was fab. What's your advice for those who have autism and are looking for a relationship? Do you have any top tips? This is from Thomas Hewitt. Right. This goes back to the negative thinking at the beginning. My top tip for dating advice is, number one, first of all, if a date doesn't go well, don't you dare internalize that bad date and put it on yourself. So do not tell yourself they didn't ring back because I'm a horrible person, because I'm a bad person, because I'm not good looking enough, because I'll never get a girlfriend or I'll never get a boyfriend, because I used to think like that all the time. In fact, I thought like that when I was 23, and I think I thought that same way as I was walking smack bang into my husband. He wasn't my husband at the time, of course. Whilst when I met him, he was just a boy I didn't even know, Liam. But now he's my husband.
Dave and I are going on our first date tomorrow. I'm not nervous. Why should I be nervous? We're just two people going on a first date. There's nothing to be nervous about. That was my phone.
You don't tell yourself that you love yourself before going out to try and date or find love anywhere else. That might make it a bit of a negative experience for you, because you may process and understand dating as negative. I'm not doing well with this. Basically, I can't give dating advice. I'm rubbish at dating. Ooh, what is the one thing about autism that you wish your parents had understood while growing up? That's difficult because I didn't know I was autistic when I was a little girl. I guess I wish they knew how hard it was for me to communicate my needs and my emotions, but I feel like they know that now, because I've not really changed socially and emotionally. I've not really changed since I was about 15. Intellectually, I've developed quite high, and the only reason that is because I went to university and surrounded myself with the most cleverest books. So if I sound clever, it's because I'm parroting clever people's words. So yeah. But no, I wish they knew that just because I could talk a lot, that doesn't mean that really sometimes the more I would talk, I would do it to cover anxiety inside. Okay, so that was my Q&A. I hope you really liked it. I hope it wasn't just like... I hope you liked it. Bye!
Baba, I'm guilty.
Yay! You did it! Well done. Can I have a kiss? Beautiful.
Mommy.
Yeah? Gorgeous boy.